Hello, internet people. I just wanted to rant a little bit about. I know I've talked about the tolerance paradox on my channel before in other videos. I think I've even given a brief rundown. If not, I'll give one here. That the tolerance paradox is the concept that tolerance can exist so long as we tolerate everything but intolerance, right? And so it's a paradox. So it's a little tricky and complicated to understand, just innately. But it got me thinking, and this has been kind of thinking for the last week or so about, well, what really is tolerance, right? Does tolerance demand us to tolerate everyone but the intolerant, right? The bigots. And then how is it not hypocritical to become intolerant of those kinds of people, right? And so it got me thinking, just at the base root, what is the word tolerance, right? To tolerate something, to allow it without resistance, to just let it be, right? And so, in that vein of thought, what does it mean to tolerate people, to be a tolerant person, right? And so to be a tolerant person is to allow others to be themselves without trying to fight them on it, without trying to resist or argue about it. It's acceptance, isn't it? Tolerance, even though it seems to have more of a apathetic connotation in today's society, true tolerance really is about acceptance. When we tolerate people just as they are, we have no desire to try and change them, right? Because that's intolerance, actually. we don't like the way they are, even if we aren't physically stopping them from being that way, but we want to change it. And so that is an intolerant way of perceiving another person, right? And so in that kind of train of thought as well, my mind jumped to, well, I don't want to tolerate like abusers or pedophiles or any of that stuff that I just find appalling, or like animal abusers. I don't want to tolerate anyone that does that kind of stuff, or it's just, it doesn't seem right? So I was thinking, why does it feel wrong to tolerate those kinds of people in my heart, right? And it's because at the root of it, they are intolerant of others. And hold on, hang with me for a sec. So when a person, let's say, abuses animals, what is it that causes them to do that, right? I mean, there's a whole field dedicated to answering those questions. It's called psychology. But at like a base sense, it is their inability to tolerate that animal as it is. The inability to tolerate it alive and healthy and happy, I guess. They don't like it, they don't want it, they don't accept it, so they change it forcefully, right? Hence animal abuse. Well, same with child abuse, same with sexual assault, and like all of these things. We are not tolerating their wishes and them as they are, right? We want to force our own way upon them, and not like me and you, but these people that abuse others, that at the root of it is that they don't tolerate them the way they are. They want to forcefully change them. Seemingly for no reason. Sometimes I guess for the abuser's benefit. I don't really understand. I do, but I don't. I like get it, but I don't get it. But so yeah, like we can't tolerate, right, intolerance if we want tolerance to prevail. If we want acceptance to be the mainstream thing in humanity, like the default setting, then we can't allow even the smallest forms of intolerance and bigotry. So like, this is probably gonna sound very controversial, but I don't even care. There was a whole thing where like this bakery, I don't know if you guys in the US remember this bakery did not want to make a wedding cake for a gay wedding, right? And so I don't remember what it came down to. I don't think it was classified as a hate crime. I wouldn't personally classify it as that either, but I would say that it is a form of intolerance, and one that we should not tolerate, one that we shouldn't say, oh, that's okay, that's their opinion. No. They are not tolerating someone for who they are, the way they're born. This gay couple's not hurting anyone by getting married. Literally no one's involved but them, and they both consent, so like it's cool. Right? And these little forms of intolerances, when we give them a pass and we say, oh, well, my freedom, we're saying really that we're fine with you not accepting someone the way they were born, and we're fine with you wanting to change them just because you're not willing to do it forcefully and physically and violently. I'm not okay with that. It does not, I'm not going to say I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with intolerance. And I don't know, it just kind of got me thinking. Maybe I'm being hypocritical and maybe I'm using my own logic to justify my own biases and feelings. I don't know, maybe. But like, I don't know, I don't think that people are born abusive, and so I don't think it's okay to tolerate that kind of behavior, because abuse comes from their own intolerance, right? And so it's kind of tricky and meta, this like path I took to get here, and that's Lolly logic for you, right? I don't know if anyone will agree. If you disagree, though, I would love to hear your thoughts, because I would like to think differently as well. And maybe I'll agree, maybe I'll disagree as well, but I think that's kind of something that humans should be talking about, right? Like, hey, maybe we shouldn't tolerate people that like don't accept others. Like, it's not cool. It leads to like genocide and like things like that, you know? So maybe we shouldn't allow the little snowball at the top of the hill that rolls down into an avalanche of genocide, you know? Just like a thought. And I'm not saying that like those bakers that don't want to bake a gay wedding cake are gonna genocide people or anything, but what I'm saying is that we, as a species and as a society, and just as individuals, when we say, well, that's fair, they're allowed to hate people based on things they can't control, we are the intolerance. Like, we are allowing the intolerance. And that's kind of like guilty by association, honestly. And it just sucks dealing with intolerance and bigotry. And I've been trying all day to sympathize or really trying to find compassion for the intolerant, and it's hard. It's very hard. I still haven't figured it out yet. But I've been having this thought of tolerance and what it truly means, and it's to accept people as they are without trying to change them in any way. Not just violently or by force physically, with your shaming or with your social isolation, the talking shit about people on the internet, like things you wouldn't say to their face because you don't have the balls to. Like, that's not only is it bullying, but it's intolerance, you know? And I think if people who identify as those who are tolerant of others and accept people for the things they can't control, like the color of their skin or who they love or how they see themselves, if we could stop giving the cover of our friendship to people who want to have those little intolerances, if we want to stop the big intolerances, we have to stop okaying the small ones, right? Things just kind of build in that way. I mean, the best way I can think of it is this. My dad once told me about firing a guy for stealing paper clips from work, which I said was a bit of an overreaction. Maybe it is. I still think that way. I don't know. But he gave me the reasoning, and it was, well, I once had an employee, and first he started taking some, pens and stuff from work. Whatever, no big deal. Let him take them. They're not costing us a lot. And then he started to take bigger things because he felt emboldened, because no one cared that he was taking the nice pens from the front desk, or a couple pads of paper, reams of paper or whatever from the printer, or it started to get bigger and bigger, until one day it was a product, an expensive pair of headphones, and he just took them because it's like that, like I said, the snowball to the avalanche. It builds. And so my father, in his position as a superior at work, has decided that he can no longer tolerate any kind of theft at work. You know, I do think maybe like a warning should be given, because I feel like most people would take like a paper. I guess maybe it was like a box of paper clips, and maybe I wouldn't really do that. But like if I had like a paper clip on something, or I needed one paper clip at home, I might take one from work. I don't think that's like terrible, but again, I get the reasoning though, and so I'm kind of seeing this reasoning with the bigotry. You know, when we make excuses for Uncle Bill that doesn't like gay people, we say that's just the way he is. It doesn't have to be. He chose that. He could choose to try and make sense of the things he doesn't understand and try and see the humanity in these people. And I'm saying all of this, and I'm realizing that this is what I need to be doing with the people that I don't like. I need to try and find their humanity. Try and find the relatable parts and empathize with those. It can be hard, though, when individuals take actions of extreme aggression towards others to truly find empathy and forgiveness for them, because you're too busy empathizing with the people that they're hurting, right? But yeah, my mind is just kind of a flurry of multiple trains of thought, really, of tolerance and how we combat bigotry, how we stop allowing it to happen without also inhabiting that same type of, I guess, God, I want to say energy, but that sounds so fucking stupid. That same, like, pattern, I guess, of intolerance. How do we uphold the tolerance paradox without becoming like those that we don't want around, right? Or rather, are we supposed to learn to, like, just let them go do their, I don't know, go do their own thing? I don't know at all. Cosmic balance and all that, but doesn't mean it has to happen simultaneously. Doesn't mean cosmic balance, the balance of life, does not mean that things have to be in balance in the moment, because as we move through time, patterns and things cycle through, and it all balances out in the never-ending end, I guess. But yeah, I'm getting all weird and stuff. Just wanted to share a little bit about my thoughts about, like, defining tolerance and the ways in which I find it applicable to social contexts, I guess. So yeah, thanks for anyone who stayed with me through this rambling bullshit mess. Love you guys. Bye.